Imagine you are standing by the shore, looking out at the vast ocean ahead. The waves crash against each other, and a storm brews, darkening the horizon. But amidst all this chaos, there's a ship, a symbol of resilience. It's battered by the waves, but it refuses to give up. Instead, it navigates through the storm, head on, navigating through the rough waters with unwavering determination. And that ship, my friends, is like our journey through life. The journey of thriving in tough times. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Annabelle, and I'm a current freshman in high school. And in fact, when I was 3 years old, I faced an enormous challenge of my life. I couldn't speak my first word. And this was no ordinary delay, as other children could speak words and even sentences at the age of 1 and 2, whilst all I could do as a 3-year-old was only mutter absolute gibberish. And of course, being a kid like this, my parents were all really concerned. In fact, they all sought various treatments in fear that I, their firstborn child, was possibly autistic or even worse, mute for my whole life. And so I underwent speech and occupational therapy, hearing tests, and eventually I underwent Chinese acupuncture therapy for a whole year. Now, this was me as a 3-year-old. I had needles stuck on my head for countless hours every Sunday. And I still remember having to experience this ongoing pain of having needles stuck on my head just because I couldn't speak. And well, after about over a year, on my 4th birthday, I managed to speak my first word. Ma? Mommy? And so from there on, my first adversity came to an end. Or so I thought. Because I actually still carried on this challenge with me in primary school, as I was a complete introvert, meaning that I had trouble socializing with others. I in fact only had a really small group of close friends, whilst I noticed others easily made large social circles and were complete extroverts, unlike me. I would be the child sitting all the way at the back of the classroom and not talking with anyone unless someone talks to me. But yet, I realized that everyone else was just built different like me. Now, imagine a girl sitting at a bench of a playground and watching the other children all play. During my time as a 3-year-old, this all felt too familiar, because that child was me. I barely had the confidence to even talk. And so, after many years, I decided to step out of my comfort zone and finally talk to others. And I did this not just from talking to them, and also I performed at school performances. And also finally in year 5, I was elected as the vice president of the prefect board in primary. And from there on, I spoke at school assemblies. Excuse me, oops. I spoke at school assemblies twice as the deputy prefect. And this was very frightening, because I had to stand in front of kids. About hundreds of kids, all staring, having their eyes on me as I spoke. I still remember my voice trembling at that very moment. And yet, I still managed to do it. Not once, but even twice. So for each time, I actually felt my confidence growing and realized how valuable my confidence was and how I really needed to step out of my comfort zone. In fact, outside of school, I was also chosen out of 10 people, hundreds of applicants. I was out of the 10 people that was chosen for the Kidzania Congress Kid. So which is just a kid ambassador for Kidzania. And also coming to one of the most challenging moments of my life was when I delivered a skills development session in UNICEF's Teens Takeover program. And I taught them about financial literacy. Seems pretty cool, because I was really obsessed when it came to finance as a topic, even as I was a kid. And well, I was really shocked when I asked the kids how old were they. It all ranged from 12 to 16 years old. And if you won't believe it, I was actually 9 years old at that time. 9 years old and teaching financial literacy. Wow, that was what I thought. I still remember having to experience the same feeling of anguish and nervousness coming back as I stood there and realized I'm teaching people that are older than me. Won't they be asking me questions that I don't have the answers to? They're definitely more well-versed in this topic, right? Oh well, came to my surprise, they actually had really good take-backs. And from there on, I actually felt true pride setting in me. And I realized I really enjoyed this feeling. And I really belonged here. So, from there on, my passion for educating kids started. And from there on, I was also invited to give a money talk workshop and also other workshops. And in fact, I was awarded as the Tuanku Banyak Young Changemaker Award twice as the top 3 finalists. And from there on, I was also invited to give up even more workshops. And one of these was through the GO program, which is a collaboration in between Standard Chartered Bank and also Women Goals. And also gave lots of kidpreneur workshops. I in fact opened my own YouTube channel at the time, just of how I loved teaching kids. Because coming from a kid, teaching adults was really fun. And from there on, I actually didn't realize it, but I had become exactly like those kids at the start. The kids that I aspired to become. In fact, if you look closely over there, there's this logo called Magical Angel, and that logo was actually the formation of my own corporation. It's part of my YouTube channel also. And now it's also currently changing, and it's being renamed as Magical Angel Innovators. And it will be based on educating underprivileged kids on health tech. And actually, this is one of my most favorite workshops, the ones that I gave to kids. Because I, in fact, was one of these kids facing exam stress and any other kids that I had really a hard time coping with stress. And coping with stress reminded me of my kid self too. So, giving this workshop not only benefited me myself as a person, but it definitely benefited others in my community. And I also gave mindfulness workshops, such as teaching adults on how to draw Zendangos. And that's basically it. But however, everything good has its drawbacks. Well, at school, in primary, among my last few years, I was bullied. I faced cyberbullying during the time in COVID. So the only way they could bully me was through online. And I suffered this cyberbullying for 1 year straight. But because I was a child and I didn't know what to do, so I experienced all of this in silence. I didn't dare to even tell my parents about it. In fact, my parents found out about it when they observed my iPad. And yeah, that marks the end of my primary school life. Now moving onwards to secondary school. Because of the cyberbullying accident, I went out. I left the school and moved on to a new school. And I joined this new extracurricular called MUN. And MUN stands for Model United Nations. And it's a platform for global discussions, debate, and diplomacy. I was not well versed with any of those. So I just joined it all for fun, since I had friends there. But little did I know, MUN was the driving factor and actually will help me to build my confidence and also realize how big the world truly is. Because MUN is usually participated by high school, college, and university students. I was in fact just a year 7 student. Why was I even there actually? I only joined it because I had friends. So, in fact, when I joined MUN, I had no knowledge on any humanitarian subjects. And MUN was all about the humanitarian subjects. So I was just kind of there for my first conference. But after realizing how MUN worked, it came to me that I actually really enjoyed debating, especially in a person as a country's point of view. And so from there on, I made even more friends, and they all guided me in this way through my MUN journey. And in fact, after a few more experiences, on my 7th MUN experience, I managed to gain my first award. And of course, I felt really glad, because within the first to 6 experience, I felt lost and isolated, like as if what I was doing, I was just wasting money, wasting my time. I should have done something even better than this. That was what I thought too in the start. But seeing that how I thrived through this adversity and stayed on and also seeked out help, it made me realize that this is a really good adversity that has not only shaped me as a person and also made me realize that we should all thrive in adversities. It also helped me realize that how important seeking out for help truly is. And finally, I managed to gain few co-chairing experiences. In fact, my first co-chairing experience was at a government-recognized conference. And after a few more experiences, I managed to head chair at other MUN conferences in Malaysia and also in international conferences. So here's my MUN journey in a nutshell. I visited lots of institutions, such as the University of Nottingham, Crest International University, Tanota International School, Nexus International School, and many others, including Sunway University. Now, of course, till this day, I still face my own adversities. In fact, I'm pretty sure we all are still facing our own adversities. Currently, I'm a student volunteer to teaching on math as an online tutor to underprivileged kids, and also volunteered at a toy library once a month. And this all definitely took up a lot of time, because it took up at least 3 hours a week. And so this led to a really big challenge: time management. Managing my time was not easy, especially since I had school too, and my exams were already nearing. And now, of course, I am still facing this adversity, but now that I know from my previous experiences that I should always seek out help and always embrace my challenges instead of avoiding them, this makes me realize that I am really grateful for all the experiences that I've gained. Now, from all these experiences, I've really learned that adversity is not just a barrier. It's in fact a really powerful catalyst for growth. Every challenge we face has the potential to reveal our inner strength and resilience. As Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. My early speech difficulties seemed impossible to overcome, but they actually led to my triumphs. And another quote that greatly resonates with me is from Maya Angelou. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. And this reminds me that whilst we cannot always control our circumstances, we can definitely choose how we respond. So now, let's all think back to that ship, navigating through the storm. We are in fact all like that ship, facing our own storms with resilience and determination. So adversity is really not the end. It's the beginning of discovering new strengths and opportunities. Now, let's all think back and reflect on our own challenges and how have they shaped us into who we are today. And always remember that we should always start focusing on our challenges and not trying to avoid them. Now, let's all think back to this quote from Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Now, carry this courage with you and remember that every challenge we face has the potential to view our inner strength and resilience. It's not always about having everything figured out, but it's mainly about making it the best for us as a person. Thank you so much, and I really hope that you all have been inspired by my story and have great takeaways.